Over the past few months, I've been feeling down for personal reasons, and at times I've tried to use food to cheer myself up. I know better than this. I'm a coach, but just because you know something doesn't mean you can put it in place in practice. So what this has meant in practice is that on more than a few occasions, I've gone to the buffet, I've eaten past the point of discomfort, and then spent the rest of the day in a kind of feverish haze, nursing a food baby. I've not gained weight, I know how to course correct, but this hasn't been healthy or helpful. And more importantly, binging isn't satisfying. Binging once doesn't make me want to binge less. In fact, it has the opposite effect. Once I've binged, it's easier to keep binging and to binge again. I think to myself, well, it wasn't that bad the last time I did it. I guess I can just do it again, which of course leads to the same cycle repeating. So let's talk about this. What's binging about? Why do we do it? And how can we stop? Firstly, people have a complicated relationship with food. Food can be comforting, it can be a distraction, and it can just be a relief from boredom. Some people just eat because they don't have anything better to do, or they don't feel like they have anything better to do. Now, of course, as fitness-minded people, we all know that food is supposed to be fuel. Food is supposed to drive performance. We're not supposed to have an emotional attachment to food. But that isn't true for many of us. We're not all David Goggins. We're not just robots who take inputs in and process them out. Food means something to us, and we use food for more things than just performance. And particularly in times of crisis, we use food as a source of pleasure, as a de-stressor. And this is a problem because we're really just thinking short term, right? We're not thinking about these long-term consequences. We're not concerned with the long-term damage we might be doing. Instead, we're just seeking relief in that moment. This is destructive, obviously so, but sometimes that's the point. Sometimes we feel so bad that we almost want to punish ourselves. We want to make ourselves feel worse. We think, I'm already a piece of shit. Who cares if I eat more? I don't care. Binging itself then leads to more self-hatred and disgust, which repeats the cycle and makes it worse. How can we stop this? How can we break this cycle? It's too easy to say, oh, just stop binging, right? If it were that easy, you wouldn't be watching this video. I wouldn't be making it. I wouldn't be confessing to this, right? It's not a thing you can just stop doing. Now, in terms of practical solutions, the most powerful thing you can do is keep tasty food out of your house or apartment. Don't keep junk food around. Don't keep anything around that you can binge on. I've actually seen bodybuilders post-contest binge on rice cakes. So let's be real, you can binge on almost anything, but it's harder to binge on foods that just aren't as tasty or as fatty or salty or as sweet. Whatever your vice is, whatever you go to, maybe it's ice cream, maybe it's pizza, don't keep it in the house. Now, of course you can always go out. I went to buffets. I don't have a buffet at home, but at least you'll make it more difficult for yourself. As long as you can give yourself a moment to stop, a moment for self-awareness and reflection, you might not binge. And that moment is important. So again, keep those tasty, highly palatable, binge-worthy foods out of your house. Now, from a psychological perspective, there is one powerful tool we can utilize. This is going to sound weird, but you need to give yourself the permission to stop binging. Let me repeat that. You need to give yourself the permission to stop binging. So what I mean is, once you've started binging, what will happen invariably is that there will be a voice in your head. It'll say, hey buddy, maybe you should stop. Maybe you should stop. And most of the time you'll reply and you'll say, well, I've already gone this far. What's the point? There is a point. You can still stop. Half of a container of ice cream is better than a whole container of ice cream. Half a pizza is better than a whole pizza. Half a cake is better than a whole cake. You can always stop. You can always stop. This is what we need to fight. Yes, of course, it would be better if you hadn't binged at all, but you can always stop. You can always exercise some degree of self-control. Get yourself back on the wagon. The truth is, we are all imperfect people. We are always going to fuck up. And when you do fuck up, when I fuck up, the best thing we can do is give ourselves permission to stop. It's to forgive ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we're still going to have to clean up these consequences tomorrow. The sooner we can start and take accountability for our decisions, the easier it will be, because there'll be less of a mess to clean up. Thanks so much for watching. This is a very complex topic. I'm really just brushing the surface here. Obviously, people have legitimate eating disorders and have real issues with food. This video is not a panacea. It's not a substitute for that. But if you found something useful here, let me know. Let's talk it out in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you.